Welcome back, loyal chaos enthusiasts. You've watched episodes 1 and 2, and now you're here, ready to witness the next layer of cosmic disaster. I see you. You've earned this. And for the rest of you, the ones who wandered straight into episode 3 like tourists in the middle of a hurricane, don't worry, I'll catch you up. Roughly. In the last episode, we saw angels descend, break all the rules, humanity get taught forbidden knowledge, and then giants literally appeared. That's it. Simple enough to follow. But today we're zooming in on the children of those celestial disasters, the hybrid bloodlines. These are the ones who didn't just survive, they thrived. They shaped civilizations, inspired legends, and probably invented nepotism before anyone even knew what it was. Imagine a world where power didn't rise from humanity, but descended into it. Messy, violent, fabulous. All of it. And yes, some of you skipped the warm-up, but don't worry, you'll survive. Probably. Buckle up. The divine drama is back and it's not waiting for anyone. Picture this. A group of angels, radiant and perfect and full of divine purpose, are given a very simple task. Just observe. No interference. Easy rules. Basically the cosmic equivalent of don't touch the oven or the whole kitchen explodes. Of course, they immediately failed. Classic. Absolutely inevitable. They looked at humanity, still squishy, clueless, wandering around with sticks and ideas slightly worse than your ex's life plan, and decided, yeah, we're gonna mess this up. Big time. From those spectacularly disobedient rule breakers came the Nephilim. Half angel, half human, all catastrophic. Not just strong, not just tall. These beings were disasters wrapped in charisma. They stomped onto the scene like the universe's first rock stars and everyone else. Panic, confusion, existential dread. Ancient texts call them mighty ones, giants, offspring of heaven. Sumerians whispered about them like they were urban legends gone horribly right. Egyptians nodded politely because, protocol. And the rest of the world? Terrified. Like, do not make eye contact with that. Terrified. The flood may have wiped out most of them, but like that one friend who never leaves the party and somehow ends up in your kitchen at 3 a.m., the bloodline didn't die. No, it survived. Quietly, secretly, lurking in the shadows. Even now you can feel their echoes in early human civilization. Those first rulers, the architects of forgotten cities, the ones who knew things no mortal was supposed to know. They weren't just influencing humanity, they were shaping it, bending it toward something that looks suspiciously like destiny or chaos, often both. So yeah, the children of the Watchers, they didn't just exist. They arrived, they imposed, and they left a mark that even time can't fully erase. Humans were still figuring out sticks, mud, and the general concept of not dying every 5 minutes when suddenly rulers appeared. And not just any rulers. These guys claimed divine parentage. Like, yeah, my dad is a celestial being, so your complaints are invalid. The Sumerian king list records lifespans so absurd you start wondering if someone invented immortality supplements back then. Seriously, hundreds of years. Some of them lived longer than the idea of organized society itself. No HR departments, no performance reviews, just pure, unfiltered authority. If you think modern politics is messy, congratulations, you've never met a pre-flood demigod king. And then there's the Cainite lineage. Early hybrids who weren't content with just existing. They taught crafts, astronomy, metallurgy, agriculture, probably even etiquette you wouldn't dare question. Humans were taking notes like, yes, master, we are not worthy, while secretly hoping no one noticed that their new rulers could bench press entire villages. Pre-flood, post-flood, chaos may have been reset, but these bloodlines, they didn't care. They persisted, quietly, secretly, whispering, scheming, building civilizations that still owed a subtle, terrifying debt to giants who once stomped across the earth. Picture it. Mortals worshipping leaders who could outlive 3 generations of family drama without breaking a sweat. Leaders who basically had cosmic PR machines before Twitter existed. And yet somehow humanity followed. Because power, whether borrowed from angels or monsters, has a way of seducing everyone, even when you know it's dangerous. By the time the flood comes, the world may have been cleansed, or so the stories say. But these hybrid bloodlines didn't disappear. They adapted, persisted, and carried forward the seeds of everything we'd call civilization: craft, knowledge, ambition, and just a pinch of chaos. Fast forward. Floodwaters recede. Humanity wipes the mud off their faces, breathes a sigh of relief, and thinks, finally, safe. Ha, cute, adorable, wrong. Because just beneath the calm, the bloodlines are crawling back. Slowly, quietly, with a flair for dramatic entrances. Egypt's royal narratives start flaunting divine descent. Pharaohs weren't just humans, they had a splash of angel DNA. You could practically see the cosmic ego in their crowns. Every statue, every ritual, every command whispered the same thing. Yes, your king is more than human. Yes, your complaints are irrelevant. No, don't even think about touching the sacred geometry of my throne. Mesopotamia wasn't far behind. Priest kings emerged, half divine, fully terrifying, keeping the chaos alive in ceremonial robes, sashes, and probably some seriously pointed sandals. They taught astronomy, math, law, and probably passive-aggressive intimidation before breakfast. Humanity thought it was civilization. The bloodlines thought it was rehearsal for something bigger. Canaanite clans like the Rephaim and Anakim? Basically the Nephilim making a comeback tour. Giants stomping through myth and memory, reminding everyone why mortals should really read the fine print on cosmic contracts. And everywhere you looked, the Serpent King symbol slithered into art, architecture, and legend. Not subtle, not discreet. Just the kind of symbolism that makes historians and conspiracy theorists weep simultaneously. Humans weren't merely ruled, they were quietly terrified. Ruled by proto-celebrities with cosmic PR teams, commanding awe, fear, and a little existential dread. Yes, your king is half angel. No, you're not allowed to complain. Yes, your temples exist because of ancient nepotism. And no, you will never get a refund. The flood may have hit reset on the world, but these bloodlines, they always find a way back in, like ghosts with good connections or that one friend who never leaves the party. By the time medieval Europe rolls around, the old bloodlines aren't done yet. They've evolved. Legends have mutated. The giants of myth traded mud and temples for crowns and castles, and chaos learned to wear velvet and carry swords. Enter the Merovingians, kings with ridiculously long hair, because of course they did. Magical hair? Divine inheritance? Who's to say, but it certainly helped with the intimidation factor. Royalty wasn't just about blood, it was about optics. And if your hair glows in candlelight like it's channeling some celestial power, well, that's PR gold. Then there's the Grail lore. That Sangreal isn't just some fancy cup story. Hint, it's a whisper of royal bloodline continuity. Kings, knights, and legends all pointing back to something older, a stranger, and far more chaotic than anyone wanted to admit. The message? Power survives. And it usually comes with dramatic storytelling. The Brotherhood of the Serpent, the Templars, the Rosicrucians, these secretive orders didn't just pop out of nowhere. They're the hybrid legacy hiding in plain sight, carrying echoes of giants, angels, and forbidden knowledge disguised as ritual robes, architecture, and cryptic symbols. Medieval politics were messy, and the wars, betrayals, and alliances read like a blood-soaked soap opera. But here's the thing, true ruling power doesn't vanish, it just changes uniforms. From the children of giants to kings and crowns, chaos still thrives, subtly pulling strings behind the throne while everyone else argues over tax codes and feudal etiquette. If you squint, you can see it everywhere. Symbols, rituals, stories. All threads tracing back to the same celestial chaos that kicked off this entire timeline. Europe may have looked like castles and knights, but underneath it all, the old blood was still very much awake. Fast forward to today. Modern elites obsessing over DNA tests and family trees like they're decoding some ancient board game nobody really remembers the rules to. Spoiler, they're not wrong, but also the game has been rigged for millennia. Symbols are everywhere, if you know how to look. The double-headed eagle, serpent crowns, winged discs, subtle, mysterious, and somehow still pointing to the same message the giants and angels left behind. We were here first. We shaped this. And yes, you still don't get it. People try to measure legacy in documents, governments, or spreadsheet budgets. They think lineage is about paperwork. Wrong. It's about memory, pattern, presence. Mythic inheritance versus genetic inheritance. The blood remembers what humans can't see. It survives borders, revolutions, catastrophes, and bad fashion choices. It waits quietly like a patient predator in plain sight. So while we obsess over ancestry tests, royal family trees, and viral TikToks about lineage, the truth remains simple. Power persists, knowledge lingers, and some stories refuse to die. The old blood still whispers, still guides, and still, whether we acknowledge it or not, rules. So here we are. The hybrid dynasties didn't just survive floods, wars, and every human brain fart in history. No, they thrived. They've been quietly laughing at us the whole time, sipping cosmic tea while humanity fumbled around with swords, crowns, and spreadsheet governments. Blood remembers. Power survives. Legends don't retire, they don't even clock out. And some stories, they refuse to die. They just sit there, twitching under the surface, whispering, "You thought you were in charge? Cute." Next up on this delightful train wreck of divine chaos, Episode 4, The First War of Heaven and Hell. Think archangels, rebellion, celestial politics messier than your group chat, and humanity firmly stuck in the middle like, wait, which side do we cheer for again? Spoiler, the universe hasn't stopped screaming. Make sure you don't get lost in the chaos. Subscribe. Throw a like into the void for the algorithm gods, and leave your most absurd theories in the comments. After all, someone has to keep track of this cosmic mess, and it might as well be you. Brace yourself. The universe isn't done yelling yet.